Hi there. Let's take a few minutes to talk about using compensation, which is a strategy to add two-digit numbers. All right, so first we're going to talk about what is compensation, and then we will do some practice together. So compensation is when you take your add-ins and you take some ones from one of the add-ins and place them with the other add-in to make a more friendly number. And then you can go ahead and either use mental math or counting on strategies, skip counting. There's lots of ways to do this. So we are going to do some practice first with some models, and then of course just using compensation. Okay, so what I have here is my HTO chart, and this one shows spaces for thousands, hundreds, tens, and ones. But what we primarily focus on in our class is we call it the HTO chart, and we work with hundreds, tens, and ones. I have my models over here, my base 10 blocks, and I'm going to go back to that problem we worked on or we just saw a moment ago. 38 plus 14. So I write on my board, that was a really bad addition sign, but 38 plus 14, okay? I then am going to take my models, and if you don't have models at home, you can always draw quick picks. You know, you could draw quick picks to show tens and ones, right? But for this, I do have models, so I'm going to go ahead and drag them over. My 3 tens, right? I have 3 tens in 38, and I have 8 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I try to line them up kind of like a tens frame because then it's visually easy for me to figure out how many more I need to make a 10. So look, if I look at this like it was set up in a tens frame, I have 5 across and I only have 3 across, which means I would only need 2 more to make a 10. So then on our working mat, on our HTO chart, let's go ahead and show 14 also. And in the number 14, I have 1 10 and I have 4 ones. And again, I'm going to try to make them in rows of 5. That way it's like a tens frame. So here's my 14, here's my 38. Now remember, we said we only needed 2 ones over here to make a 10. So let's go ahead and let's drag these ones. Okay, let's move 2 of these ones. Let's take these 2 ones and let's put them right here. Now what do we have here? What we have is a whole 10. So I could then take this 10 and I'm going to go ahead and move them over here, okay? Or what I'll do for visual representation here is I'm going to cross them off and I'll drag a 10. So now what do we have? Now we have 3, 4, 5 tens. All right, so now we have 5 tens and 2 ones, which is the sum of 38 plus 14. So how can we do this just using compensation? Let me go ahead and fix that addition. It's simple. That's bothering me. Let's see if we can fix that a little bit. Okay, much better, much better. So if I have 38 and 14, these 2 numbers are my add-ins, right? I know because I used models, I know the sum is 52. So I want to show you how you can do this without using the models. I look at 38 and I look at 14. I know 38 is really close to 40, okay? It's only 2 away from 40, and it's the larger addend. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 2 to my 38. But I'm not just randomly adding 2. I got those 2 ones just like we did up here. I got them from the 14. Okay, so my 38, let's go ahead and move this. So I have now, instead of 38, now I have 40, which is what we did over here, right? And I have 12. So now I can combine 40, 52. I can either do that in my head, or I could use quick picks, because I know 40 plus one more 10, we've done this before, is 50, and I only have 2 ones. I don't have to worry about adding any more ones. So compensation is an excellent strategy for us to add 2-digit numbers. Let's do one more. Okay, for this problem, or for this equation, I have 2 addends, 23 and 57. This time my lower addend is over here and my larger addend is over here. Could I move them around? When I am adding 2 numbers, can I move them? Do I have to do 23 plus 57, or could I do 57 plus 23? The answer is yes, I can move them. In addition, we have something called the commutative property, which means that basically I can have my numbers travel. They can commute. I could move 57 first and add 23, or I could have 23 and add 57. So it doesn't matter what order your numbers are when you are adding, okay? Let's go ahead and let's look at our numbers though. We have 23 and we have 57. Which is the greater number? 57. I use the larger number because it's going to be a little bit more friendly for me. Now, what if I turn this 57 to the nearest 10? That would make it what? 60, right? That would make it 60. How many ones, or how many times did I have to count on in order to get to 60? Well, you could think of your number line: 57, 58, 59, 60. So I counted on 3 times, right? I counted on 3 times, which means I have 3 less from this addend. So this addend is now going to be 20. Well, I could do this in my head. I know you can too. If I'm looking for the sum of 23 plus 57, and I use compensation, that's the same as saying 60 plus 20, which is 60, 70, 80. So my sum is 80. Let's go ahead and let's use the models. So 23, here we go. 23 has 2 10s and 3 1s. And then 57, which is 5 10s and, you got it, 7 1. Okay, well, remember what I was saying? 23 was our first addend and 57 was our second addend. But look, which one is more friendly? Visually, I could make a 10 easier with this group of ones than I could with this group of ones. But what's so super easy is I see a space here. In order to finish my tens frame, I know I need 3 more ones. So I could just take these ones that are up here, the 3 from 23, and I'm going to put them in here. So now what I did was have 20 plus 50, 60, right? Because all of these together is another 10. So now I have 20 plus, there's 5 10s plus another 10 here. So that's going to end up making 60, which is what I wrote down here. And so easy for me to add. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. There's my sum. All right, you are ready. Go ahead and have fun practicing this strategy all by yourself.